Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Laws of Man. And this is a new crime thriller that is from writer-director Phil Blattenberger and focuses on two U.S. marshals who, in the early stages of the Cold War, post-World War II, are trying to hunt down murder in the deserts of Nevada and fill out this warrant. And this film has a lot going on and a lot of context going on. And it's interesting how this is such a bloated experience and everything that they're trying to balance and explore in this film. Because you have our main character, Frank, who's played by Jacob Keohane, and he is this World War II veteran. And he has these flashbacks to these harrowing experiences he had during the war and how they're interfering with his day-to-day work as a marshal now. And there's some places that you can explore with some depth and in terms of that trauma, and the film dabbles in it. I don't know if it fully captures just the real impact. And I'll say this right off the bat. I feel bad saying this. I feel like the main performance is so much less interesting than every other performance in this film, at least for the most part, because there's a lot of character actors that are in this that bring personality to their roles. And you just have Frank, who's kind of bland. And, like, you have this trauma background, but it's not explored in a dynamic or deep kind of way. You have these intermittent just flashbacks throughout the film that feel like it's kind of just bogging down the story even more than it already is. Because you have so many moving pieces in this narrative, because you have his partner, Tommy, played by Jackson Rathbone, who I think brings enough personality to this, of Twilight fame. And he has this woman that he meets that he has on the side and keeps trying to get back to. And, you know, there's some tragedy that comes out of any kind of real human connection in this story. You have the likes of Dermot Mulroney, who is this despicable murderer, and with his two sons on his property, very like, this is my land, get off or I'll shoot you, government kind of character. And he brings a ruthlessness to that character. You have like Richard Brake, who has an early role in terms of this shootout. You have Keith Carradine, you have Graham Greene, you even have Harvey Keitel, who's like this roving preacher in a Winnebago. And his story, obviously he's there to like spout thematic threads to put into the film. It just feels like a lot. This film's trying to balance too much. It's trying to balance this, you know, former soldier dealing with PTSD, this big, like, early Cold War conspiracy, which I'll give this movie some credit for being bold in terms of like what's really going on in this, because this is quite the conspiracy going on and it's wild and it goes there. But this film is trying to balance too many threads, and it becomes extremely overwhelming, especially when you don't have a lead character, lead performance that really has the power to anchor this all down, and everything just kind of feels like it's falling in on itself after a while with all these different kinds of things that it's trying to balance in telling the story. The action and the thrills of the film are very clunky, and the effects with this very low budget stick out like a sore thumb, and Blattenberger, I don't think, is able to really bring anything dynamic in terms of action and tension. There's specific moments that have some emotional resonance because of the staging of the story and the impact. It just, I don't feel like the direction's really there to elevate this material or meet just how bold and ambitious some of these ideas are that this film is throwing around. And at the end of the day, I feel like this is an overly ambitious, overly far-reaching crime thriller conspiracy that just is trying to do too much, has some strong supporting performances, but really struggles because of a lack of strong foundation at the center. And at the end of the day, this is wild. And it is a crazy story that just feels kind of overly plotted, overly bloated, and doesn't really meet the potential that it has. But those are my thoughts on Laws of Man. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.